Hello viewers, welcome back to yet another lesson of Smart Coach India. Today in this video lesson, I will be teaching you about some special functions. So let us start with the first function, that is modulus function. So modulus function actually signifies the absolute value of the independent variable on which the function is based upon. So it can be defined as, modulus function can be defined as f(x) is equal to mod of x, this is the symbol for modulus x, which is actually equal to positive of x when x is either greater than or equals to 0, and is equal to minus x when x is less than 0. That is very simple. Now, if I want to represent graphically, then the graph of modulus function, if this is the variable x and along y axis I take the value of f(x), then the graph will be of this sort. That means the values will be only along the positive y axis. That is the meaning of modulus function. Second function is your signum function. So signum function is actually a 3-tiered value function, and it is defined as f(x) equal to modulus x divided by x when x is not equal to 0 and is equal to 0 when x is equal to 0. So if I again further illustrate this value, or I expand these values and I split it up, then I will get this value as 1 when x is greater than 0, minus 1 when x is less than 0, and 0 when x is equal to 0. Now if I want to graphically represent the signum function, then it would look something like this. This is your x value, this is your f(x), then at 0 it will take 0, at values greater than 0, that means positive, it will take 1, and along the negative values it will take minus 1. Clear? The third function is your greatest integer function. This is very important from the perspective of your entrance examination. Greatest integer function. Or shortly it is abbreviated as GIF. So the greatest integer function is defined as f(x) equal to box of x, where this box x, it represents the greatest integer just less than or equal to x. What do I mean by that? Let us take an example. If I ask you what is the greatest integer function of 3.14, then your answer will be 3, because 3 is the greatest integer just less than 3.14. And what about any negative value? If I take suppose minus 2.5, then its GIF will be not minus 1, it will be minus 3, because minus 3 is the just integer less than minus 2.5. Okay. After this after GIF, let us come to exponential function. So Most of you might have already learned, or you already are well acquainted what does an exponent means. So, similarly the term goes exponential function. So, exponential function is defined as f(x) equal to a to the power x, where x is the power or index and a is your base. And remember, where this base a, I am marking it with a different color, this base a has to be, a must be greater than 0 and a must not be equal to 1. Okay? A cannot be negative, a cannot be equal to 1, because 1 to the power anything will again give you 1 only. Okay? Now, the graphical representation of exponential function will be somewhat like this. If this is your x axis, this is your f(x), then your exponential function graph, it increases from minus infinity till plus infinity, and at the value 0 it will take the value 1. That is very easy to remember, and it is a continuously increasing graph. Okay? The next function that comes is your logarithmic function. Now, what is a logarithmic function? That involves log of a number. So, it is defined as f(x) equal to log x to the base a. Now, in this case, this base a, where the base a as well as x both has to be positive, both of them has to be simultaneously positive, then and x cannot be equal to 0, because log of 0 is undefined. Okay? Now, if I take a look into the graph of a logarithmic function, then it will be like this. This is x, this is f(x), then your graph will be of this sort. That means the graph will completely lie towards the positive values of x only. Log function is undefined for negative values, remember that, and at the value x equal to 1, the logarithmic function becomes 0. Clear? Then number 6 is your quadratic function. So, you might have already come across quadratic polynomials in your class 9 and 10. So, what is a quadratic function? If suppose a, b and c are any 3 real fixed values, then the quadratic function can be expressed in the form ax square plus bx plus c. Now, if I want to represent it graphically, then I will get 2 graphs. One will be it is a parabolic graph, upward, facing upward, and there can be a second graph which will be parabolically downwards. Okay? Now, This graph you will get when the value of a is greater than 0. This value you will get, or this graph you will get when a is less than 0. What is important to remember is that the minimum value for this upward graph will be minus b by twice a and minus d by 4a. Many questions are being asked each and every year from this part. Okay? Then here also similarly this will not be the minimum, that will be the maximum, because it is parabolically downwards. So, it will have a maximum value at minus b by twice a minus d by 4a. And what is this d? This d is nothing but your discriminant, that is b square minus 4ac. Okay? Now, let us discuss about what is a composite function. Number 7 comes composite function. Now, composite function means if there is a function within another function, then it is said to be a composite function. For example, let us try to understand. Suppose if there is a first function f(x) equals to sin x, and there is a second function gx equal to log of x, then the composite function of g to f, this is the symbolic representation g naught f. That means composite function of g to f for the variable x will be equal to g as function of not x, f(x), because function within another function. So, the value of f(x) is sin x. Now, when I will replace sin x in log x, then the composite function will become log of sin x. I hope you have understood whatever I have taught in this video lesson. So, stay tuned and keep practicing maths. Thank you.